Hey, Jantans and Jantanites, Jason Desmond here from the Jantan Collective with a brand new edition of What's Up With That, where we question, we learn, and most importantly, we grow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below because we love hearing from you. Maybe it might be about something that we talked about before that you have a comment on, or it might be something that you feel very strongly about and you want us to talk about it. Please do get in touch. Now, here's the thing though. The LGBTQ plus community has been in focus in Malaysia mainly for all the wrong reasons recently, from court cases, and then you read about it in the newspapers with physical abuse. And you know what? From where I stand, at least, it all really stems from a lack of understanding of this community. So why is there so much hate? And what's up with that? So today, for us to get a better understanding of this, and really, this conversation can get so deep. So we're just really trying to get to step one of this. We're speaking to members and advocates of the LGBTQ plus community. Today, we're with Saw and Ashen. Let's get to some introductions first. Ashen, as far as I know, you're from Malacca. Are you still in Malacca?
Yes, I am still in Malacca.
All right. So how old are you and what do you do and what's going on? Let's find out more.
So I'm 23 years old this year, and also I do a lot of photography, videography, and also a lot of side hustle like construction work. So basically anything doing this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. And Saw, how old are you? You're from KL, right?
Yeah, I'm from KL, and I'm 27 years old this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do? Are you in construction as well, like Ashen?
No. I'm actually studying in degree.
Nice. Okay. So I think the first thing that I need to just get out of the way is because where I work, where we talk a lot about music and everything, and I introduce a lot of music on radio. But the thing is, every time it comes to something like Sam Smith, who's very particular about the pronouns that he uses, how we're supposed to refer to. I always say him, but then it's like now them and they and whatnot. Are you guys particular about pronouns like Ashen? What do you use?
So I prefer he, him pronouns. Yeah, so it's okay. And I think for you to be more safe, just call them by their name. Like for me, if you're afraid to offend anyone like me or myself, you just call them by their name. It's fine.
Oh, right? Yeah. Because the thing I think it's always what we want. We're not aiming to offend anybody. We don't know, right? So what about you?
It's just like Ashen, like to be honest, like if you want to call anyone, like you don't want to offend them, you can call by their name. But if you're not sure, like it's best pronounced as he or them.
But for you particularly?
Same goes to me, yeah.
All right. So do you
particularly if possible like he. But if like suddenly they just like she or whatever, like I don't mind.
Right. Okay. Let's get to your stories about how when did you realize that you were a transgender? Ashen?
Okay, very good question. So basically, I didn't know I was trans until the existence of trans people only when I was like 18, 19 years old, only I found out about it.
Right.
So since I was born, I only had the knowledge that I was a dude. I was a boy. So can you imagine, like, since I was small, I would just play around with boys. I would just play with Spider-Man action figures and stuff like that. Only then in kindergarten, my teacher told me like, hey, my old name, you are a girl. So why are you playing with the boys? Why are you lining up with the boys? So then I was like, wait, I'm a girl? What's the difference, So I just didn't know. Yeah.
But when your parents raised you, I mean, like, some parents, when they have boys, they have blue walls and blue this, blue that. When they have girls, everything's pink, right? How was it back when you were growing up?
For my parents, they were just like, everything was just monotone for me. It was just like everything was just yellow, I guess.
Right,
and like it's just that my sisters, they just preferred playing Barbie dolls, and I just preferred that one Spider-Man action figure that they all broke. So it's just like that lah.
Wait, how many in your family? How many siblings do you have?
I'm actually half of a twin. I have a twin sister.
Nice.
Yeah. So and I have a younger sister. So it's three of us.
Okay. So what about you? When did you realize?
I realized when I was in high school, but I was like already tomboyish when I was young, way younger, like around 10 years old. I realized that like when you have your birthday celebration and everything, right? So your relatives, everything, like, because you're a girl, so they will definitely give you like Barbie dolls or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I realized, like, I whenever I receive that Barbie doll, I'll shove it into like my cupboard. Like I don't want to see it.
Right.
And
Okay.
every time like my mom forces me
Was it
to
uncomfortable to
like
see it then?
yeah.
Right.
Every time like my mom forces me, it's just like not uncomfortable. It's just I don't like it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not your thing. Like it's a
So it's like
personal preference.
when young time. Yeah. It's a personal preference.
Right.
Yeah.
But the realization when it really hit for both of you, what was it that everybody has that ding ding moment that's like, hey, okay. Ashton, what was yours?
Mine was when, because I basically I knew that growing up I always liked girls, but I just didn't understand why was me liking girls a bad thing. And also
Specifically,
because
what do you mean by liking girls? I mean, you
like
like the way they look, and
yeah, I just sexually attracted to them romantically. So like it was just weird when my friends, all girls school, they just be like, oh, One Direction and stuff like that. I'm just like,
yeah,
wait, what? Why don't I like them? From then on, my friends started to get suspicious of me, and it was just like that awkward moment where I had to blend in. And when I figured out that I was trans, it was through social media. From some trans man advocate people in US. From then on, I was like, oh, okay. So finally, it just clicked. So I didn't like being called lesbian or bisexual, or dyke. I just like the trans man description just really, really fit me very well, and just felt happy. Yeah.
Okay. And Saw, did you experience the same thing?
Yes, quite similar, but because I experienced myself like during high school, right? So it's like since high school I already had short hair and everything. But the good side is that my friends are quite supportive. So it's like they will less teasing and everything. They're quite supportive and everything. Yeah.
And was it an all-girls school? Was it co-ed for both of you?
Yeah. I was all girls school too.
Yours was an all-girls school. So Ashton?
Yeah.
All girls school.
Wow. So would it have been different? You think that would the stress have been different if you had been going to a co-ed school? You think?
Because like,
Makes you wonder.
I think so.
Right?
Can go first. Yeah, I think it's just that maybe you're surrounded by all the girls, and back in my school, it was a Catholic all girls school, so it was
okay.
yeah. So like being a lesbian there, it was like the worst thing you can do. Like number one in the rule book was lesbian. Number two was killing people. That was how bad it was. The degree. Yeah.
What? Okay, right.
Yep. So it was just that maybe I don't know, maybe because we were surrounded by all girls, right? And I feel that most of our time we just see girls and we rarely see guys. And even in my school, if some girls had boyfriends from like about 7 minutes walk away another high school there, like the discipline teacher would just like throw you in front of like the entire assembly, make fun of you. So then back then it was just like, okay, thank God I'm gay.
Right.
Back then.
So was it the same? I mean, like all girls school. Was it hard?
all girls school, yes. Like my all girls school was like convent. So basically like half Catholic. Yeah. So it's like the same thing. So it's like once they see like a girl like decide to cut short hair, so it's like, oh, you're gonna be like you are a lesbian, you are a tomboy. So I'm gonna like every teacher will like pinpoint at you, find a mistake on you, like try to get demerits on you and everything.
Now, this because at some point, Ashton, I'm just watching this video of yours right now because you uploaded a video, which was a coming out video on YouTube about being transgender in Malaysia. This was a couple of years back. Because as far as because you keep telling me about the moment when you had a girlfriend in school, the school counselor was added and everything. But as I remember you saying, it was after high school that you really knew that you were a trans man, right? How do your family take that? I mean, when you saw the video.
Basically, when I made that video, it was before I came out to my parents.
Okay. Oh, snap. Okay.
So like I knew I had to literally tell my dad because he goes to a very, very pious Christian church.
Okay.
And in Malacca it's very small minded and they are not that accepting yet. So
Malaysia in general, I suppose. Yeah.
So like when I went went, I think it was a coffee shop. I remember this very well. So I just told my dad, like, hey, pa, I tried to come out to him 3 times already, okay? And this was the 3rd time. I just came out of the hospital from, basically, I was misdiagnosed with epilepsy, migraine epilepsy, and they gave me the wrong medication. But instead, I was supposed to be diagnosed with depression, severe depression, anxiety.
Right.
So for the entire year, I was given the wrong medication, and then I got admitted to the hospital. And basically, the doctor was like, "Oh, sorry, we gave you the wrong medication for like 1 year." Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I know we're talking about transgenderism and LGBT today, but I want to get you back for all the other hospital type of stuff chat, right? But let's just focus on this right now. So after the hospital visit, you came out and then your dad picked you up, or your mom and dad picked you up.
Yeah, basically, my dad, I just told him that, like, because he was with me in the hospital, and I keep shouting at him, like, leave me, I don't want you to see like this, I don't want you to see me like this, I just want to die, because I feel that I'm in the wrong body my entire life, and I just feel like life is not worth it,
Right.
So then I was screaming in the ER, and my dad was just like, okay, I'm moving back. So he wasn't there most of the time, and then when I came out, I couldn't walk for about 3-4 months. I was paralyzed. Then I told my dad, like, hey, pa, do you know why that happened to me? And it's finally, I think it's time for me to be honest with you. I feel like this is because of I can't accept myself, because I feel like even if I can't accept myself, I don't feel like there is a way or life will not get better because I'm trans, So then
Did he understand that?
He blamed himself, because he was in denial for many years, because he knows like my characteristics, that I like girls. He was okay with that. But when I came out to him as a trans person, he realized that he was maybe too harsh on me, on becoming like a proper girl, and like follow, like don't be too boyish and everything. So then he was like taking the blame. He was like, okay, I feel bad because so far in your entire life, I keep pressuring you to be a proper girl and everything. So I just told him, like, pa, don't feel bad. I understand from where you're coming from, in church and everything. So like from then on, he was like, okay, so what can give me some time, and I'll try to, do some studying about this, about yourself, and think about it. Yeah.
So wait, he felt bad. So your dad is a very religious man, right? But he felt bad because wasn't because that you were trans, but he felt bad because he didn't accept you, basically. All right, or accept you earlier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how did that make you feel? Because your depression, I suppose, was it because of your gender identity, and you knew basically, but you were still in depression, right?
Yeah, because I think it was the hardest part was to come out to myself. Even though my friends knew, and I felt comfortable being called, by he, him pronouns, handsome, and whatnot. So like when it was the hardest for me, because I knew that I need to move on, because this is my life, and I realized that even if the people around me don't support me, I still need to make a stand for myself. So that was a point where I just told my dad, and then from then on, my dad was still reluctant at first, he was still in denial. Right. But then when after that he saw like how happy I got, and like he always wanted a son. So from that on he was like, okay, you know what? I'm not losing anything, so it's fine.
Good. How do your mom feel about that?
Oh, my mom is still against it. She still did. She still calls me by my birth name, and she still refuses to like acknowledge me as a son. Yeah. But
she still sees you at Chinese New Year. You still go back and whatnot, right?
Yeah, but it's just painful because like because since the hospital she has seen me in that condition, she just assumes that I'm still sick in my head, and it's contagious and whatnot. Yeah.
And your twin?
Oh, my twin she's honestly, I can tell you, mostly everybody in my life thought that when I was admitted to the hospital, they thought I was faking it.
Right.
For attention. So
even your twin. So, what about you? Any strange hospital visits with diagnosis and everything, or did you come out to your parents? It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, like my parents kind of excited by like, closing one eye, but I haven't really like really
I'm a bit
like
concerned about that closing one eye though, because it's not really acceptance; it's really denial, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. They are quite still deniable. Like they still consider me as their daughter and everything. So I was like, you know what? Parents are quite old now, so I'll just accept and make them happy and try not to make things worse. So I just
Okay.
leave it.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about your brother?
My brother accept. He
Okay.
knows that I like girls.
And has he known for forever?
Yeah, since I was like during high school.
So you say your family is very traditional, but now that they're kind of closing one eye, but they kind of know. Is it uncomfortable whenever you go home for Chinese New Year and then they notice that Chinese New Year you're not dressed in a cheongsam, obviously.
Yeah, no. Basically, because I've been like this since I was young. So back then when I was younger, like my family members, like my dad's side care less, but my mom's side. So my mom's side's like, the aunties, traditional minded and all that. So they'll be saying like, oh, you're a girl, you should wear cheongsam, you should wear a dress, you should skirt, you should look nice, pretty long hair and everything. So I was like, I would just like, acknowledge them and like, yeah, no, but like this is me. So like as I getting older, like I did talk to my mom, like I don't like whenever my aunts say that like to me, like I should be how I feel I want to be. Like I don't need them to tell me how to be and how to dress up. So since then, like I think my mom did talk like to her sisters and everything. So it's like since then, like they don't care, like they just ignore.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you struggle with it mentally? Because in Ashen's case, it was a bit of a struggle mentally. Did you struggle with it?
Definitely mentally, but I always like have a best friend to talk out with. So that's where I clear out my mind, like where once you talk with your best friend, everything at least it's clear up your mind. It doesn't bottles up. So that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Ashen's right. It's coming out to yourself, accepting who you are, right? And then after that, when you can do that, you basically go, you know what, fuck the world, right? I don't care what, right? Because as long as you're comfortable with yourself, though. But I completely understand because we live in an Asian culture, it's still very taboo in many cases and everything. But did you guys try to hide your transition, I suppose, at that particular point, or your gender identity?
No, I did not hide.
No. Everyone just kind of knew.
No, not for me. Yeah.
No.
My friends all knew.
Okay. And
it's quite obvious for them. Yeah.
So for mine, in Form 2, I had a girlfriend, and like for personal reasons, I won't exactly say what position she is, but she was like quite famous in school, and basically my parents found out, and they told the counselor. The counselor basically told the entire school, and yeah, basically like throughout my entire high school days, it was like I just had no friends. So
right. Hey, let's talk about family though. Do you guys come from like pretty pious and pretty religious families, or is it like what? Ashen, yes. So
traditional thinking.
Right. Okay. So what does traditional thinking mean though?
So it's like if you're a girl, you must be a girl. If you're a boy, you must be a boy.
Right.
You can't act in another different gender.
So that's a lot of pressure though. Because how do you tell your family though? Because number one, Ashen, when your parents found out that you had a girlfriend in school, and then they spoke to the counselor, was that the moment you kind of came out to them?
No.
But you had a girlfriend. You're a girl in an all-girls school. You had a girlfriend.
Well, it was still not allowed. So like because way before they found out about me in standard 5, standard 6, my twin had a very, very close best friend. And they would do everything together. Like legit, everybody thought that they were lesbians.
Right.
So one time, in standard 6, I remember my class teacher. Okay, so my twins and they were just playing, and I was just minding my own business, sleeping in class. And out of nowhere, I just hear like my class teacher just yell, her name, Abigail. Like, what are you doing? What are you and your friend doing? Are you all lesbians? Like that was the first time where I knew, like the term lesbian exists. And then like he shouted it at like as if it was like some sort of slur or like some cuss word. So like the entire class just went silent, and then like the entire, I think for 1 hour he just continued to like just nag at them, you're lesbian, you're disgusting. Right. So then from then on, I went back home. The teacher already had called my parents, and my parents gave her a hard time for not being a lesbian. I was just like, okay, I had to like, hide that part of me because there was a moment where I found out that when you like girls, when you're a girl, you like girls, you're lesbian, and that is not a normal thing.
Right.
And my parents.
But again, how old were you at that point?
Oh, that was like what? 11, 12.
Okay, right. Okay. Right.
So like, but I already knew that I like girls since like I was 5. My sexual awakening, if you could say it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, what about you? Did you have relationships in all? When you're a kid in high school, it's all puppy love anyway, right? So, did you have any?
Yes,
relations?
definitely.
Right, yeah.
I have. My first was like when I was in Form 4. So when I was in Form 4, I was actually quite famous in school because I was an athlete, a runner.
Right.
So I was quite known in school, and also whatever movement you do, like everyone knows. So that time when I have a girlfriend, like everyone knows. So when I have a girlfriend, like there is definitely people like jealous and everything, right? So that particular student, they purposely take our photos like, on Facebook back then, our photos from Facebook, and purposely give it to the what's it called, like the discipline teacher.
Yeah.
So we got caught. Yeah, we got caught. And my parents came over, I talked to them, but during that time, like my parents, like no, nothing to say. Like they didn't say anything. They just said, "Oh, you have 1 week holiday. You kena kantong."
But they didn't. That's all. So, was that for you? Was that a sign of acceptance from your parents in a way?
Sign of acceptance, but it's still like closing one eye to it. Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
Because I'm sorry.
How many siblings do you have?
Only me and my elder brother.
Oh, so it's okay, right. So at that point, close one eye and let's move on. Forget about this. It's just something silly that kids do in school. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys seeing anybody right now? Do you have partners? So no?
Oh.
You're not seeing anyone.
Zero.
Were you seeing someone?
No.
Why? Because it's just too complicated.
I just got off. It's so complicated.
So what was she? Was she trans or was she lesbian or what was she?
Lesbian.
Right.
She's lesbian, yeah. So
Okay.
does
she know that you're transitioning?
Yeah.
Did she know that you were transitioning?
Yes.
Right. So right from the
Yes,
get-go, it was fine. Was it her family that was an issue?
No. It's just personal issue.
Or you got a psycho girlfriend, lah. Like everybody sometimes gets.
Sort of.
We all have had those. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. Asher, what about you? Are you seeing anyone?
Yes, I have been single for 5 years now. So
You're single now.
5 years. Yep.
Were you seeing someone before that?
Yeah. Basically, when I came out as trans as well, at the time I was trans, but I wasn't like transitioning yet. So what happened was she was crazy, man. Like so like number one, I didn't know she had a boyfriend. Okay. So like we were together and everything, whatnot. And then suddenly she was like, oh wait, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, wait, what? For how long? 3 years already. I'm like, what? 2 years boyfriend? What?
That
So it was like,
oh
nope.
god, that's just not. That had nothing to do with the community or whatever. That's just crazy kind of stuff, all right?
But because like, oh my god, because like at that point she was like, oh, I'm actually bi-curious. So from actually having a boyfriend, she took a boyfriend to be with me. She
So what?
dumped the
You were an
boyfriend,
experiment?
basically.
Fuck.
So and then from then on, she liked her classmate in college. So then she cheated on me with that classmate, and after that, from then on, she just basically like stopped talking to me most of the time. Like about 2 days once, she'll reply me, and I'll just be like, okay, actually, what's going on? And she'll be like, oh, actually, I'm busy right now, but I found out like through Skype and everything. It's just like, why do you have a hickey here? I haven't seen you in a month. I'm just like, wait, what's going on?
Saw and I just sitting here enjoying our stories basically because your life is so interesting, Saw and I are going like our lives are so boring. Right?
Wow.
Yes, girlfriend.
Right.
No, but I have way worse experience in my relationship. Man.
Oh, okay. Like was it multiple partners as well, or what? Or was it what?
Oh my god.
Don't
get me
More of
started.
So I tell
cheating.
yeah, I want
More
to
of
yeah.
cheating.
Oh really? Yeah.
More of cheating. Yes,
Oh.
drama. That's the worst. The worst is the drama.
At some point, like when you're in your 20s, right? All relationships are weird and everybody's experimenting in a strange way, right? But at some point, you will get into a pretty stable relationship. Do you guys ever wonder how that's gonna be? Do you have to explain to your partner's family what you are? Do you hope to be accepted when your own family you're not being accepted yet? You know what I mean? Do you ever worry about that, Saul?
Not much of the worry, but like if I think in the future, I mean, like if you were to explain, I think they would understand like who you are as a T, as a transgender. So I think if it depends also because like certain parents like they're open-minded, so they accept. If like the more like a traditional minded, close-minded, that would be tough.
But you don't care like you're gonna move to Switzerland anyway.
Yeah.
If they don't accept, no mind lah, I'm in Switzerland eating chocolate. Okay, but Ashen, do you think about that? Do you worry about having to explain to your partner's family?
At this point, because like coming out for me was really very tough, and I actually consistently almost every day I come out to new strangers as well, right? So I feel that it's great that she wants to take the risk to come out to her parents as well. And for me, it's there's no issue because like I said, I'm comfortable in my own skin with who I am today. And even if they don't accept me, it all comes down to her. If she feels that it is a big issue that her parents will accept me, then I'm sorry lah. If it's that much of an issue, then we should be together, no? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're naked in front of the mirror, sorry, when you're naked in front of the mirror and you see yourself, what do you see? I mean, like, what are you upset with your body? Are you
not really upset, but is you just wish to have like that body, that male body,
right?
Yeah.
Ashen, you went the distance. I mean, you went for surgery and dude, seriously, you buffed up. Are you working out? Or you work out a lot?
Actually, I don't go for any surgeries at all.
Right. Okay. You didn't. Oh, you didn't do anything. No surgeries.
No surgeries.
Right. But dude, seriously though, I mean, you know, how did you do it?
Basically, working out a lot, and I realized that it's all about the macros, and you need to consider the amount of carbs you take. Because my body, I realized that if I eat too much carbs, it'll store fat on my chest. So I just did my best to adjust that, and yeah, it worked. So if I don't work out, and basically if I don't take on testosterone, right, the hormones, then basically it will start popping out again.
Right.
And,
so are you both on HRT? Are you going through really?
I was on hormones.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, so no. Ashen, yes. Okay. And how long have you been on it, Ashen?
Since 2018. So, like it's nearly 3 years. Yeah.
And when you say you're on HRT, I mean you're on hormone replacement therapy. You're on testosterone, right? Well, how do you did you see a doctor about this, or how do you buy it off the how does it work?
Oh, very good question. So there is two ways. Okay. So like in Malacca, that definitely it's not allowed to actually go to a doctor and say like, hey doctor, I want to inject some male hormones into my female body. Definitely they won't allow it. So like in places, more populated areas like in KL, in Subang, in Penang, there are doctors who you can actually go and tell them, like, first of all, you need to get a letter from a psychiatrist, psychologist, and you have to say that, okay, I'm trans, maybe for 2-3 appointments. Then after you get a letter to state that you have gender dysphoria and you are actually transgender man or woman. From then on, you actually go to see a doctor. A general DO is fine as well, and then they will actually start to actually take your blood levels and then your hormone levels from then on, and then from there they will actually adjust your dosage.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the proper like medical way. But for
Right.
me, I basically self-prescribe.
Okay.
Yeah, there is actually in KL there are a few doctors. In Sunway itself, there is one who Sunway met. Yeah, there is actually one doctor who can actually get top surgery, bottom surgery, every surgery you can actually get it there from. And for much more gender affirming LGBTQ plus affirming psychologists, you can see to get a letter. It's actually much more easier. So I have a friend there in Sunway Med. Yeah, in Sunway
Okay.
Med, a psychologist who I met at a gender conference for
Right.
transgender people.
Wait, a gender conference in Malaysia?
Yeah, last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you go for that?
No.
So I find it fascinating because in KL, right, we're so exposed to so much more, right? Yet Ashen, who's still in Malacca, right? You've been where was this conference in Malacca, or did you come to KL for it?
In KL. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So it was like I was a panelist for the trans man of Malaysia,
Right.
and then I had another panelist for the trans woman of Malaysia. That one, I'm not sure that you heard of her, but she's Nisha Ayub. She is top 100 most influential. Yeah. So she was another panelist, and then we have also that psychiatrist who basically will explain what does this mean, and then how she feels about the medical line and how they have been treating trans individuals,
Right.
LGBTQ plus individuals. Yeah.
So, did you go through any surgeries?
No, not yet.
Are you planning to? Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I'm planning to.
What are you planning to do?
Yet. Top surgery.
Okay. Right. For those who don't understand what that means, what exactly is that, if you don't mind explaining?
Top surgery is because like in general girls has boobs, so top surgery is like to like flatten the chest. So that's like where we can show more of our manliness, and we will like be more comfortable, because like not every tomboy that will go to surgery. Like for us, we feel uncomfortable having like this part of chest of us, so that's why we want to operate it. Yeah, to make us feel confident, like the confidence, like when you go out. And even though you have a flat chest right now, without the surgery, but you still get the looks from everyone whenever like you go out in the shopping mall and everything. Yeah.
So in the meantime, when you're not you haven't gotten a surgery, how do you are you hiding it?
Not really, because I'm blessed that I have like quite flat chest. So yeah, like compare like to other people, like I think people like they are tomboy, quite chubby. Yeah, their chest is like you can see. So it's like whenever you see like a tomboy, but they has like a boobs. So people will be like, oh, why are you trying to portray? Why you being a tomboy, but you have boobs? You're good. Yeah.
I thought you had gone for a surgery because are you when are you planning to do it even? I mean, top and bottom.
Basically, there are actually a lot of surgeries. So like before I get into the more complicated ones, basically if you take hormones, there are some complications that you will face with your biological body. Your health risk, and then from then on, because you are injecting foreign hormones, right? That is mostly derived from animals. So from then on, because your body naturally produces it. So every gender, even though female or male, they actually do produce it. But for female, maybe lesser, right? So if you inject male hormones, basically your estrogen stops producing, right? Your body stops producing estrogen. From then on, basically your ovaries start dying.
Right.
And then if it dies, basically your intestine and everything will just fall down, and it will just be another painful thing. So then there is another surgery to take out that ovaries and just just tape everything up there so it doesn't fall, yeah.
Right. And you knew this when you started taking meds for it.
Yep.
And that did not freak you out?
No, basically in 5 years, like 3 to 5 years time, you have to get that surgery.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're completely fine with going through all that?
Yep.
Wow. Because surgeries kind of freak me out. But Saw, did you read through? Did you know all this? And are you still planning to do all that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because ultimately, it's your body, it's your decision, what you want to do with it, isn't it?
I
Right.
think that it's just
Definitely.
that maybe we feel that throughout our entire lives, majority of our lives, we just feel that we were born in the wrong body. Number one, and I
Yeah.
just feel that slight that a lot of risk makes it like nothing because we have a goal to actually achieve what type of physique we want to look like, how we actually want to perceive to others. So I feel that it's more of like we want this for ourselves. So yeah.
Hey guys, we hope you loved that discussion. But for the full discussion and all our other videos, click right here. And remember, don't be a dick.